The grand archives of the Galactic Concord stretched across an entire moon. Inside, Director Tejo moved carefully through shelves of human artifacts. His 6 legs clicked against the polished floor as he examined a metal plate with strange markings. 300 years, he whispered to himself. 300 years since they vanished. Everyone knew the story. Humans had developed faster than any species in recorded history. They went from primitive flight to faster-than-light travel in less than 2 centuries. This made other species nervous. Then came the scorching, when 7 alien fleets attacked Earth and its colonies. Official records showed total human extinction. Tejo didn't look like the humans in the old images. His blue exoskeleton and compound eyes marked him as Carilid, one of the 34 species in the Galactic Concord. His people hadn't taken part in the scorching, but they benefited from the human technology left behind. Director, I found something strange. Assistant Jaiwu approached with a data pad. Her tentacles glowed softly in the dim light of the archive. These energy readings don't match our records. Tejo took the pad. The quantum signature from the artifact didn't align with other human relics. This was the 3rd such anomaly this month. Mark it for special study, he said. And bring me the files on the Xantha sector. The Xantha sector was empty space, or so everyone believed. Far from major trade routes, it contained only dead planets and radiation fields. No one went there. No one had reason to. That night, Tejo couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the anomalies. Small things, easily missed. A power source that lasted too long. Materials that shouldn't exist. Technology that seemed too advanced even for humans. Computer, show me all reports from monitoring stations near the Xantha sector for the past year. Most reports showed nothing unusual. But one caught his attention. 3 months ago, Station Epsilon recorded a brief energy pulse from deep within Xantha. The officer on duty, Dehun, noted it but classified it as sensor error. Tejo wasn't so sure. 2 days later, he stood before the Concord Research Council. 5 different alien species stared back at him with various eyes, sensory organs, and data interfaces. I request permission to lead an expedition to the Xantha sector, Tejo said. Elder Minjun, the oldest member, leaned forward. The radiation makes it dangerous. What possible reason could justify such risk? I believe some human technology may have survived there, Tejo answered carefully. He didn't want to share his real suspicions yet, not without proof. Artifacts can wait, another counselor said. Tejo's antennae twitched with frustration. The energy readings suggest active power sources. If we can recover functional human technology instead of dead relics, think what we might learn. This argument worked. The council approved his mission with a small research vessel and 5 crew members. 1 week later, their ship, the Seeker, entered the edge of the Xantha sector. Radiation shields hummed at full power. Sensors detecting nothing unusual, reported Navigator Minji. Her scaled skin reflected the blue glow of the control panels. Just dead worlds and dust. Keep looking, Tejo insisted. Focus on the coordinates from that energy pulse. They traveled deeper into the sector. The radiation increased. Their shields strained against it. We should turn back, Engineer Juno suggested. The ship wasn't built for this environment. Tejo was about to agree when alarms blared. Multiple objects approaching. Minji shouted. They appeared from nowhere. On the viewscreen, 3 ships materialized as if stepping out of invisible doorways. Their design was unlike anything in Concord records, sleek, dark, with no visible engines or weapons. Scan them, Tejo ordered. I can't, Juno said. Our scans bounce off. The strange ships surrounded the Seeker. Tejo expected them to attack, but instead, they simply maintained position. They're hailing us, Communications Officer Sabine announced. Audio only. Tejo nodded. Put it through. A voice came through the speakers, clear, calm, and speaking perfect Concord standard. Concord vessel, power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Any hostile action will be met with immediate response. The crew looked to Tejo. They had no weapons to fight with. Identify yourselves, Tejo demanded. A pause. Then, we are the guardians of this sector. You have entered restricted space. This sector is empty. It belongs to no one. Another pause. Tejo sensed the voice was consulting with others. Director Tejo of the Carry-Lid, the voice finally said. Your research into human artifacts has been noted. It seems you found something the Concord would prefer remained hidden. Tejo's antennae went rigid with shock. They knew his name. They knew his work. Who are you? He asked again. The largest ship moved closer. On the viewscreen, an airlock opened. Come aboard, the voice said, and you'll understand why humans aren't as extinct as everyone believes. Tejo stepped through the airlock with 3 crew members behind him. Their breathing masks hissed softly as they entered the strange ship. The corridor walls gleamed with a metal unlike any the Concorde used, darker, somehow absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Stay close, he whispered to Minji, Juno, and Sabine. 2 figures waited at the end of the corridor. They wore fitted gray uniforms with no visible insignia. Their faces remained hidden behind smoothly contoured helmets. Follow us, one said, voice slightly muffled. They walked through curving hallways. Tejo noticed the ship was much larger inside than it had appeared. The technology visible in passing rooms surpassed anything in the Concorde by several generations. Engineer Juno stared openly at a power conduit glowing with blue energy. Quantum fusion, he muttered. Theoretical only in our best labs. Their guides led them to a large circular room. Viewscreens showed stars, nebulae, and what appeared to be a massive hidden structure built into an asteroid field. Welcome to Sentinel Ship Horizon, said a new voice. A figure stepped forward from the shadows. Tall, bipedal, with 2 arms and a head of dark hair. The being removed its helmet, revealing a face that Tejo had only seen in ancient records. A human face. I am Captain Jihan, the human said. You look surprised, Director Tejo. Minji gasped. Sabine stepped backward. Juno dropped the scanner he was holding. Impossible, Tejo said, his mandibles clicking rapidly in distress. Humans have been extinct for 3 centuries. Captain Jihan smiled. That's what we wanted the galaxy to believe. Another human stepped forward, shorter with longer hair. I am Commander Yunha. We've been monitoring your research into our artifacts. When you started finding the inconsistencies, we knew it was only a matter of time. Tejo's mind raced. The energy signatures, the anomalous materials. Deliberately left, Yunha confirmed. Tests for those curious enough to notice. The room suddenly darkened. Stars appeared all around them, a 3-dimensional map of the galaxy. Dozens of small blue points of light blinked in various regions. Human outposts, Captain Jihan explained. All hidden, all thriving. We number in the billions now, spread across regions the Concorde considers empty or dangerous. But why? Sabine asked, finding her voice. Why fake your extinction? The humans exchanged glances. The coalition that attacked Earth didn't want to just conquer us, Yunha said. They wanted to erase us completely. We discovered their plans months before the attack. So we prepared, Jihan continued. We evacuated our most important people, our knowledge, our genetic samples. When the attack came, it looked like total victory for them. What they destroyed were empty cities, automated defenses, and convincing evidence of our complete annihilation. Tejo felt his legs wobble. The implications were enormous. 300 years, you've been hiding all this time? Not just hiding, Yunha said. Growing. Learning. Advancing. Captain Jihan gestured, and the star map zoomed in on a distant region. We have colonies in places the Concorde can't even reach. Our technology has developed along different paths without the limitations of Concorde regulations. Engineer Juno pointed at the ship around them. Your cloaking technology, it shouldn't be possible. Many things we've developed would seem impossible to the Concorde, Jaihin said with a slight smile. Taeho gathered his courage. Are you planning revenge against those who tried to destroy you? Both humans looked surprised by the question. Revenge? Yunha shook her head. Those who attacked Earth are long dead. We've moved beyond that. Then why reveal yourselves now? Why to us? Captain Jaihan's expression became serious. Because it's time to return. And because we need your help. He waved his hand, and the star map changed again. Now it showed the edge of the galaxy, where something massive and dark seemed to be approaching. 3 months ago, our deep space monitors detected this. It's not in your charts. It's not in ours either. But it's coming, and based on our readings, it means extinction for all life in this galaxy, human and non-human alike. Taeho stared at the image, trying to comprehend its scale. What is it? We don't know, Yunha admitted. But we need to prepare. The Concorde needs to prepare. And they won't believe us without someone they trust speaking for us. Jaihin stepped closer to Taeho. That's why we revealed ourselves to you. You need to convince the Concorde that humans still exist. That we come in peace despite our history. And that together, we need to face what's coming. Taeho looked at his crew, then back at the humans in the dark mass on the screen. How could I possibly make them believe this? Captain Jaihin smiled. We're going to take you to Haven Station. When you see what humanity has built in secret, you'll have all the proof you need. The journey to Haven Station took 6 hours. Taeho and his crew watched in silence as Captain Jaihin's ship navigated through a series of invisible corridors, pathways through space that somehow bent around normal detection. We call these shadow routes, Commander Yunha explained. They exist between normal space. The Concorde's sensors can't detect them because they don't know what to look for. Finally, the darkness ahead parted to reveal Haven Station. Taeho pressed his face against the viewport, unable to believe what he saw. The station was massive, a city in space built inside and around an asteroid field. Portions had been hollowed out to create habitats. Massive energy fields connected different sections. Ships of various designs moved between docking bays. Taeho estimated the structure could house millions. It's been here the whole time, he asked. 300 years, Jaihin confirmed. This was one of our first refuges. We have 12 others like it across the galaxy. Their ship docked at a central hub. When they disembarked, Taeho was struck by how normal everything seemed. Humans walked about their business. Some nodded at the aliens, but most simply continued their routines. Children played in an area with lower gravity. Merchants sold goods in an open market area. I expected something different, Minji said. Military bases? Revenge planning? Yunha laughed. We've had generations to move beyond anger. They were led to a large meeting room where an older human waited. Her hair was white, and she carried herself with obvious authority. This is Senior Commander Hyojin, Jaihin said. She leads Haven Station and will explain everything. Hyojin gestured for them to sit. The chairs adjusted automatically to fit their non-human bodies. I understand you have questions, she began. Let me start with the most important truth. The official history of humanity's extinction is a lie. But not just the Concorde's lie, our lie too. She activated a holographic display showing ancient footage, massive fleets approaching Earth, weapons firing. The Coalition did attack us, she continued. But by then, we had already evacuated our most important people and resources. What they destroyed were empty cities and automated defenses. But why? Taeho asked. Why would the Coalition want to destroy humans completely? Hyojin's eyes reflected the glow of the hologram. Fear, Director Taeho. Simple fear. Humanity advanced faster than any species in recorded history. We went from primitive flight to faster-than-light travel in less than 2 centuries. That's not a reason for extinction, Juno protested. Isn't it? Hyojin swiped her hand, changing the display to show technological advancement curves for various species. Look at the projections. In another century, we would have been far beyond the most advanced Concord technology. In 3 centuries, well, you can see what we've actually achieved. The images shifted to show human advancements, ships that could fold space, energy sources that drew power from other dimensions, medical technology that had nearly eliminated death from natural causes. They feared what we might become, Hyojin said softly. And perhaps they were right to fear. Subin leaned forward. If you have this power, why hide? Why not take revenge? Would you have us kill trillions to avenge millions? Hyojin asked. The beings who attacked Earth are long dead. Their children's children's children now live in the Concord. Should they pay for ancient crimes? She stood and walked to a large window overlooking the station. Besides, revenge wasn't necessary. We survived. We thrived. While the Concord congratulated itself on eliminating the human threat, we built this and much more. Then why reveal yourselves now? Taeho asked. Hyojin's expression darkened. Because of what's coming. Our deep space arrays detected it first, 3 months ago. We call it the Void Fleet. The hologram changed to show massive objects moving through deep space, organic-looking ships with no clear design. They're not from our galaxy, she continued. They appear to consume energy and matter. They leave nothing behind. And their trajectory brings them here within 8 months. The Concord has no defense against this, Jihan added. Their technology isn't advanced enough. But yours is, Taeho realized. Hyojin nodded. We believe so. But we can't defend the galaxy alone, from hiding. It's time for humanity to return, not as conquerors, but as protectors. Taeho felt overwhelmed. The Concord won't believe this. They won't accept that humans have been hiding, watching them all this time. That's why we need you, Hyojin said. You're respected. You study human artifacts. Your word will carry weight. And if they don't believe me? Hyojin looked grim. Then when the Void Fleet arrives, there will be no one left to argue about who was right. Taeho gazed out at the bustling human station, a civilization that had chosen hiding over war, patience over revenge. He made his decision. Tell me what I need to do. The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Concord fell silent as Director Taeho walked to the center platform. Representatives from 34 species watched from tiered seats that rose high above him. The evidence he carried seemed small in his hands, but its implications would change everything. Honored representatives, he began, his voice steady despite his nerves. 1 week ago, my research team entered the Xantha sector to investigate unusual energy readings. What we found challenges everything we believe about our galactic history. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Counselor Jisoo, a tall being with translucent skin, leaned forward. Director, your report mentions contact with an unknown species. Yet you provide no biological samples, no verification. Because they are not unknown, Taeho replied. They are human. The chamber erupted. Some representatives shouted in disbelief. Others demanded Taeho be removed. Elder Yuna, the eldest member of the council, raised her hand for silence. Humans are extinct, she stated firmly. This is established fact. A fact that is wrong, Taeho said. He activated a small device. Holographic images appeared, showing Haven Station and its human inhabitants. Humanity survived the scorching by orchestrating their apparent extinction. They have lived in hiding for 3 centuries, watching the Concord from the shadows. Impossible. Counselor Miho bellowed, his massive frame rising from his seat. This is deception. No species could hide so completely for so long. The main doors to the chamber opened with a hiss. Captain Jihan entered, flanked by Commander Yunha and Senior Commander Hyojin. The room fell into shocked silence. The deception was necessary, Hyojin said, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber. Your ancestors sought our extinction. Hiding was our only choice. Guards moved toward the humans, weapons ready. Elder Yuna raised her hand again. Stop. If these beings are truly human, this is a historic moment. Counselor Jisu's skin pulsed with blue light, a sign of extreme emotion. If you are human, why reveal yourselves now? Why not remain hidden? Jaihin stepped forward. Because something is coming that threatens all life in this galaxy. Something your current technology cannot stop. He activated his own device. The holograms changed to show the Void Fleet moving through deep space, massive organic ships consuming everything in their path. Our deep space arrays detected these 8 months ago. We call them the Void Fleet. They will reach Concord space in 7 months. The council chamber remained silent as the representatives processed this information. Elder Yuna finally spoke. Even if this threat is real, why should we trust you? You admit to deceiving us for centuries. We deceived you by allowing you to believe we were dead, Hyojin corrected. We've never attacked the Concord. We've never interfered with your development. We simply survived. And developed technology far beyond ours, Miho said darkly. Technology you could have used against us at any time. Yunha stepped forward. But we didn't. That should tell you something about our intentions. Taeho moved to stand beside the humans. I've seen their civilization. I've seen their technology. If conquest was their goal, this would not be a conversation. It would be a surrender demand. The chamber fell into debate. Some representatives argued for immediate military action against the humans. Others wanted to study the Void Fleet data. A few spoke in favor of cooperation. After hours of discussion, no consensus emerged. Elder Yuna called for a recess. In a private chamber, Taeho faced the council leaders. You must believe them, he insisted. I've seen the evidence. The Void Fleet is real, and it's coming. Even if we accept that, Counselor Jisu said, how can we trust humans? They've hidden among us, watched us, developed weapons that could destroy us. Yet they didn't, Taeho pointed out. They chose peace. Outside the council building, crowds had gathered. News of the humans' appearance had spread quickly. Some carried signs demanding protection from the human deception. Others called for hearing them out. As night fell, Captain Jaihin stood on a balcony overlooking the Concord capital. Commander Yunha joined him. They fear us, she said quietly. With reason, Jaihin replied. We are the nightmare that has haunted their history. Will they accept our help in time? Jaihin watched the twin moons rise over the city. They must. Or there will be no one left to remember either humans or the Concord. Inside the council chamber, a vote was finally called. The question, would the Concord formally acknowledge the existence of humanity and consider their warnings about the Void Fleet? The vote passed by a single representative. The unveiling of humanity had begun. Now came the harder part, convincing a fearful galaxy to work with the species they had once tried to destroy. The defense fleet assembled at the edge of Concord space looked like nothing the galaxy had ever seen before. Concord vessels, sleek and colorful, hovered alongside the dark, powerful ships of the human fleet. After 3 months of frantic preparation, the combined forces of humanity and the Galactic Concord waited for the enemy. On the bridge of the flagship Restoration, Admiral Sunwoo stood with his hands clasped behind his back. The human commander wore a simple black uniform with no decorations. At his side stood Director Taeho, recently appointed as the Concord's official ambassador to humanity. The Void Fleet will arrive within the hour, Sunwoo said, his voice calm despite the tension. Taeho's antennae twitched nervously. Are we ready? As ready as we can be. In the 3 months since humanity's return became official, much had changed. After initial fear and resistance, the Concord had gradually accepted the truth: humans had survived, hidden, and now offered to help against a threat that would destroy them all. Not everyone was convinced. 20% of Concord worlds still refused to work with humans. They sent no ships, no resources. They believed the Void Fleet was a human deception designed to trick the Concorde into surrender. Admiral, called Captain Mincio from her station. Sensor grid is detecting distortions at the predicted arrival point. The main view screen showed empty space, then a ripple, then another. Suddenly, massive shapes began to appear, the Void Fleet. They looked like giant dark clouds with hard shells. Each one was the size of a small moon. By the ancient stars, whispered Taeho. There are hundreds of them. Begin Phase 1, ordered Admiral Sun Woo. Throughout the combined fleet, ships activated special shield generators that humans had provided to the Concorde. The shields glowed with blue energy, connecting ship to ship in a vast network. The void ships moved forward, seemingly unaware of the waiting fleet. When they reached the shield network, they paused. Tendrils of dark energy extended from their forms, testing the resistance. They're scanning us, Mincio reported. Shield network holding at 97%. Admiral Sunwoo nodded. They've never encountered our technology before. Now they will learn. The first void ship attacked, sending a pulse of energy against the shields. The network flared but held. More attacks followed as the enemy tested their defenses. Phase 2, Sunwoo ordered. Smaller human ships moved forward, positioning themselves at key points around the shield network. They activated special devices, quantum disruptors that humans had developed during their centuries in hiding. The disruptors fired, sending waves of energy that didn't attack the void ships directly but instead disrupted the space around them. The enemy vessels began to slow, their movements becoming sluggish. It's working, Taeho said with amazement. They're being contained. Admiral Sunwoo's expression remained serious. Now comes the difficult part. Phase 3. The largest human vessels moved into position. These ships housed technology that even most humans didn't fully understand. The result of 3 centuries of development along paths the Concorde never explored. Dimensional anchors online, reported Commander Jiho from the weapons station. Ready to fire. All ships, prepare for gravitational distortion, Sunwoo warned. The human ships fired. Not beams of energy or physical weapons, but tears in the fabric of space itself. The tears expanded around the Void Fleet, creating a bubble of altered physics. The Void ships struggled against the effect. Some tried to flee. Others turned their weapons on the human vessels. But their movements became increasingly difficult as the dimensional anchors did their work. Final phase, Sunwoo ordered. The entire combined fleet activated their engines simultaneously, creating a gravitational push that forced the Void Fleet, now trapped in the dimensional bubble, toward a nearby dead star. Containment at 89%, Mincio reported. Some of the smaller enemy vessels are breaking free. Focus anchors on the largest ships, Sunwoo commanded. We can deal with stragglers later. The battle raged for hours. Several Concorde ships were lost when void vessels broke through the shield network. 3 human ships were severely damaged while maintaining the dimensional anchors. But slowly, inevitably, the Void Fleet was pushed into the gravity well of the dead star. Once there, the human ships activated the final sequence, collapsing the star into a controlled black hole that pulled the enemy vessels in, trapping them forever. As the last void ship disappeared into the event horizon, cheers erupted across the combined fleet. On the restoration, Taeho turned to Admiral Sunwoo. You did it. You saved us all. Sunwoo finally allowed himself a small smile. Not just us. All of us, together. This is why we returned. 3 days later, on the Concorde capital world, humans and aliens gathered in the Grand Council chamber. A new treaty was signed, one that formally welcomed humanity back into galactic society and acknowledged their right to exist. As Admiral Sunwoo shook hands with Elder Yuna, he spoke words that would be remembered for generations. 300 years ago, we chose to disappear rather than fight. Today, we choose to return not as conquerors, but as neighbors. The stars have room enough for all of us.